Good afternoon, everybody, and we are back. I'm Bob Marone along with Joe Logano. We are here for the third annual Honickman Company's Golf Invitational Tournament. The third time we've been here. We are, of course, from Westchester Talk Radio. We're produced this afternoon by Shaw Creative, made possible by Hightower Westchester and Robeson. And this is a very interesting event. The Honickman companies have done this now 3 years in a row. And this year it is to benefit the Volunteers of America, Greater New York. And we're fortunate to have with us now Leslie Armstrong, an MSW. She's a social worker, obviously, an assistant vice president of Emergency Housing and Shelter Services with Volunteers of America, Greater New York. What an important responsibility you have. Welcome to Westchester Talk Radio.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
Well, believe me, the appreciation comes from us. You're doing God's work. I mean, how long have you been with Volunteers of America?
I've been with Volunteers America for 16 and a half years now.
Did you start when you were 3? What's going on with you?
I was about 3.5.
Oh, okay. I was close. I got it pretty close. All right. Emergency housing. I'm a little familiar with some of this. I know right off the bat, if you get a homeless person off the street in an emergency, you got to at least find a shelter. But beyond that, you need to find more permanent housing. How do you go about doing that?
So we have a wonderful, wonderful team at our shelter program. So I oversee the shelter programs in Westchester, as well as within the 5 boroughs of New York City. And we have a social service team that consists of case managers, housing specialists, social workers, and the front desk staff, and they all work together to help families and single adults find housing permanency. And we work from a client's strength perspective. So we help them to locate employment. We help them to understand that, that they have to save money, and we help them to apply for the appropriate, suitable housing for their family or for them as an individual.
It's a very difficult job, though, isn't it?
It's very, very difficult because there are not many subsidies and resources available for people, homeless families and individuals at this time. But our staff do very, very well. We have a resource of landlords that we work with on a continuous basis. And again, we work with management companies to try to help our clients as well.
That's very interesting stuff. Now, do you do the usual when you first get a hold of a client, get them in temporary shelter, and then work on long-term housing? Is that how you do it?
So all of our persons that come to our shelter programs are referred.
I see.
So they all go through like an assessment, and then they are placed at our shelter programs.
How long have you been dealing with the homeless? Well, of course, it's one of the things that we're here about today, homelessness, et cetera, but Volunteers of America does a lot of things. How long have you personally been working with emergency housing?
I've been in the field for about 25 years.
25 years? Okay, now you're really stretching it. Okay, this is when you were 3.5, and this is when you were 2.
I was 2 at that point, yeah.
I do understand that. Is this something you always wanted to do, and if so, what motivated you?
Yes, I've always had a passion to want to help people. And when I got out of school, I, tried to get a job, and I wound up getting a job working for a non-for-profit agency, emergency housing, and it was for persons that were diagnosed with mental illness. And I really, really liked that job, but they were at various stages in their housing track, I would say. And once, I don't know who was it. There was a CEO that had approached me and was like, look, there's a organization that they're expanding, and you may want to apply for that. And I was like, oh, really? And I looked at Volunteers America, and I've been there ever since.
God bless you. Now, there are, I'm sure, people listening to this or who will listen to it who may know someone who needs your services. How do they go about getting in touch with you or Volunteers of America, Greater New York?
Volunteers America Greater New York has a website, www.voa-gny.org, and you will see a list of our programs and services that we provide. You can click on the link, and you can just ask questions about housing, you can apply for career opportunities. And you can, if you would like to donate, you can also donate on the website, and you can make contact with us. If they would like to speak to me specifically, they would just, reply to the email and ask to speak to Leslie Armstrong.
Okay, let's go through that one more time, because what happens is you mentioned some very interesting contacts. So people are grabbing for their pens. So you're going to give me the website again, and then the alternatives on the website, and then how to get a hold of you if they want you.
Okay. So it's www.voa-gny.org. You can go to the website for career opportunities, for donations, and you can ask questions, and you can request to speak to any staff person. And if you'd like to speak to me, we would request to speak to Leslie Armstrong.
And Leslie Armstrong, she started when she was 2 in the business, 3.5 with Volunteers of America. She's there 16 years, and obviously you love what you do. Thank you so very much for being on Westchester Talk Radio.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great day.